Yes, hi, thanks for joining me today in this beginner's practice. Today we'll have a little bit of a look at the backbending movements, actions. So when we do backbends, what has to happen is the front body has to extend, has to really stretch. The shoulder blades in the back have to come into the back ribs to support that lift of the chest that we have to have. And also the front of the thighs will experience a stronger stretch. So today is a beginner's practice. It's not difficult back bends. It's just the movements that we have to learn to get there. So join me in a minute. I have just 2 blocks and we'll get started. Okay, so for this very first pose, we're going to lie down on our backs. We're going to have 2 blocks like that. This first block, the front edge is going to go right on the shoulder blades. So the tip of the shoulder blades go all the way down here. So take your block, bend your knees, and with your hands on the block, just move the front edge of that block towards the tip of the shoulder blades, lift your chest, and then come down on that block and go backwards. Hold the back of your head, hold the back of your neck, pull the back of your head towards, away from your neck, so not to the ceiling, but pull it behind you. So you're lengthening the back of the neck, the chin goes to the chest, and then see what happens in the spine here. Can it go down towards, can the chest open and the head go down towards that block? And for some people, the chin goes back here. The back is maybe a little more round, so then you have to lift the block up so you're more comfortable. And then go ahead, stretch the arms over your head. Pull the elbows away. Now you could turn this block, so if your arms go back enough, they can rest on that block. Move the tailbone away from your lower back and stretch the heels out one at a time. Reach the legs out, feet together. Take a few breaths here. Settle down. And just notice the block, pressing those shoulder blades into the back ribs, pulling the elbows, making that front body reach more, extend more. Soften your breath. And then let go of the arms. And now these blocks are pretty tall. And just either see what happens. Can you bring your arms into goalpost arms, which is bent elbows, putting the elbows on the floor? Can my left elbow is down, my right elbow is up a little bit. So notice what comes here. One side might be harder than the other side. Or just stretch the arms out to the side and height in line with the shoulders, and completely relax the arms down. Now relax the feet a little bit. Let go. Keep your palms turned up, keep your inner arms rolled up. In this way, the shoulder blades will move into the back ribs. ahead, bend your knees. Place your hands on your chest. In fact, place your elbows and your hands down. I'm grabbing the side of my mat. And then I'm going to come up, pressing the elbows down, lifting, leading with the chest, and come up that way. You can also roll to your side if that's easier. And then go ahead, let's move the blocks. Now let's lie back down. If your chin goes back away from the chest, have a blanket under your head. Now take your knees or your feet as wide as the mat, almost as wide as the mat. And then let your arms come out to the side and bring both knees to the side. Take a few breaths. And you might feel a little stretch on the front of that thigh. And inhale, bring the legs up. Exhale, go to the other side. So that top leg, when I take my knees to the right, that top leg, knee moves down towards the floor and the opposite body lifts. Come back to center. Go to the other side. Now see, I'm going to the left with the knees and this right buttock is lifting. Now you're going to reach your right hand down towards the foot. Bring the foot in a little bit. Grab the foot a little bit and extend out through that top knee, that right knee. Move the tailbone away from the lower back. Just let the other knee come all the way down on the floor. And you should feel a stretch on the front of the thigh. And then go to the right. Let the left buttock lift. Reach your left arm down towards the foot. Bring that heel in. Grab the foot if you can. If you can't grab the foot, that's okay. But keep the foot on the floor. And then extend from the front of your thigh to the knee. Move the tailbone away from your lower back. So you're not arching the lower back here. And then bring the knees up. And then roll to the side and come up. And let's join me standing. Now for this next pose, just have a belt. Open that belt up wide. Bring the belt to the back, middle of your back. And then bring the belt straps onto your armpits and over your traps. So it's not crossed in the front, it's just going under the armpits, over the shoulders. And then grab the belt this way. Turn the palms forward. Notice when the palms turn forward, the chest can broaden. So grab those belt straps. It's good to have a fairly long belt here. And then reach those belt straps straight down. Take your feet hip width. Bring them hip width. Press your inner feet. Press the outer feet. Bring your front thighs to the back thighs and firm the legs. And then pull that belt down. And at the same time, lift the chest, lift the sternum bone. Now the front of the thighs have to press back so you don't end up in this concave, this arched lower back. Press the thighs back, roll them inwards, lift your chest and pull the shoulder blades down. Feel the tips of the shoulder blades moving down towards the waist and in towards the front ribs. The back ribs, sorry. Now let go of that belt, but keep that action. Shoulder blades down and forward into the back ribs. And then stretch your arms up. Inner arms back, thumbs back. Now lift up through the little finger side. Look up to your hands. Lift the front body. See if you can take your arms further back. Look back. Extend. Feel that stretch in the front body. Look forward. Keep the arms back. And exhale. Bring the arms down. All right. Let's take that belt off and make a loop on your belt. Now, if you have tight shoulders, it's a good idea to take the arms a little wider. Let's loop this properly. So have a loop that's where you bring the belt around the middle of your forearms, and I have my hands just a little wider than your shoulders. If you have shoulder issues, like I said, take the belt, your arms a little bit wider. So again, find your mountain pose, feet together here. Tadasana, spread your toes. You can look down, press your inner feet, your big toes, spread the other toes out to the side, press the little toe side, and just take a minute, feel the inner feet, the inner heels, the outer feet, the outer heels. Feel evenness on all four corners of the feet. Bring the weight towards the front of the heels, roll the front of the thighs in, firm the legs. All those actions are important in all the poses we do. So rolling the front thighs inwards, inner groins back. And then let's reach the arms forward. Push your arms out into the belt. The inner arms are slightly rolling to the ceiling. Inhale, stretch your arms straight up. Now go ahead, look down towards the feet. You can just see your toes. Lift up through the thumb side of your hand. Lift the back ribs. Lift the back ribs. Now look forward. Lift up through your little finger side. Keep pushing those arms out into the belt. Reach up. Take your arms a little further behind. Look up at the belt. Take your arms behind you. Feel the front, stretch in the front body. Now look forward. Exhale. Take your arms down. Did you just feel how you grew an inch taller? All right. Let's just have a block and have your wall. If you don't have a wall, that's okay. I just want to put one foot at my wall just to feel that heel touching the wall. It gives me a little reference there. And then take your feet wide. We're going to do extended side angle pose, Parsvakonasana. So take your legs wide. Bring your thumbs to the very base of your spine. Move that tailbone down and forward. And press the front of the thighs back. Roll them in. Firm your legs. Now lift that chest like we just did and roll the shoulder blades forward and down. Right? So the shoulders roll back. Front shoulders roll back. Now turn your right foot out. Stretch both arms out. One will be at the wall. Press into the back heel. Press it strongly into the wall. And then bend the leg. Bend the right leg. And you can see if you need to go a little wider. I want to keep my knee over the heel. Then reach over. Bring your top hand on the waist. Bottom hand on the block. And have that block where it's accessible to you. So what I mean by that is you bend the leg and you want to be able to stretch the chest forward and keep the chest in your shoulder right over that leg and turn. So if you need to lift the block, lift the block. Turn the top shoulder. Extend from the back heel through the crown of your head. Imagine you have a string here pulling you, lengthening that spine. Move the chest to the chin and then stretch your top arm out, turn the palm up and reach it all the way over your head. Reach. Press the knee into the arm. Turn. And then reach the arm back. And join the feet together and come upright. Go to the other side. Move the block behind you. Step wide. Bring your thumbs to the very base of your spine. Press the front of the thighs back. Roll them in. Take the tailbone down and forward. Now lift the chest. Roll the shoulder blades forward into the back ribs. Turn your foot out. Once you turn that leg out, press that back heel into the wall, turn your abdomen forward. Stretch the arms out, bend the left leg. Then reach over, come onto the block, medium or high setting, and turn your chest towards the ceiling. Press that outer knee into the elbow. Stretch the top arm out, roll the inner arm and palm to the ceiling. Stretch the arm over your head. Now imagine you have that string in the crown of your head. Pull it, reach the head away from the back foot, chest to the chin. Exhale, turn one last time. And inhale, come up. Turn your toes. And let's do this one more time. We're going to have 2 blocks. So have 2 blocks behind you and be centered on your mat this time. Stand in mountain pose. Lift your chest. Feel the inner and the outer feet. Extend all the way up through the crown of your head. Inhale. Bend your knees. Jump wide. Reach your arms out. Roll the shoulder blades down and feel them plugging into the back ribs. So the shoulders are firm. It makes you more able to keep the arms out. And then bend the right leg. Reach over. Come onto the block. Press the knee back. Stretch the top arm up. Turn the front of your chest towards the top arm. Be keeping that bottom shoulder drawing away from the ear and plugging into the back rib. And then turn the top arm. Reach it over your head. Extend the spine, the chest towards the chin. Exhale, turn one time. Look towards the ceiling. And reach, come up. Keep your arms out. Stretch through your fingers. Draw those shoulder blades into the back ribs. Turn your left foot. Turn that whole leg out. Bend the leg. Reach over. Stretch the top arm straight up. And press the outer knee into your elbow. Move the middle of the chest to the top arm. Now notice that bottom arm shoulder. Draw the shoulder away from the ear. Keep that shoulder blade plugged into the back ribs. Turn the top arm, reach it over, and keep extending and reaching the crown of your head away from that back foot. Exhale, turn one last time to the ceiling. Look up and come up. Bring your arms together, bend the knees, jump together. Standing tall. Now next we're going to do Supta Tadasana, standing at the wall. We're going to stretch the front of the thighs. So let's move the blocks. Just hold your wall. And I'm going to turn so you can see here. Hold your right foot. So I'm holding my foot, not the ankle. And bring the tailbone down and forward. Move your knee a little forward. And then keep that tailbone down and forward. Press the other standing leg back. And then move the knee down towards the floor. Without arching, without moving lifting that tailbone. Keep the tailbone down. Knee back. Lift your chest. Roll the shoulder back. And change, go ahead, change. So other way, hold the wall, hold the foot, bring the knee a little bit in front, tailbone down. And now keep that tailbone down as you take the knee back. Roll the shoulder back. Take the knee back. Reach that knee towards the floor and back. And release. Let's do it one more time. On the other side, hold your right foot. Same as before, tailbone down, knee a little forward, and then keep that. Then take the knee back. Now feel that connection of your hand and the foot. The foot is moving towards the floor and the hand is resisting. Roll the shoulder back, lift the sternum, the chest, and now move the knee back more if you can. Lift the leg up, lift the arm up behind you. And release. And let's do the other side. I'm going to keep holding the wall. Hold your left foot. Set that tailbone down and forward, and then move the knee back. Pause. Roll the shoulder back. Feel that connection of the hand and the foot. And then resist that with the hand. Resist that foot wanting to go towards the floor. And start to move the hand back and up, moving the knee back behind you. Lift your chest and release. And then just think of those beautiful skaters at the Olympics, skating and lifting that leg up all the way up here behind them. Maybe one day. Okay. Join me for the next pose. All right, have two blocks. Bring your blocks. I have a little paneling here at my wall. I'm going to put the blocks against the wall. If you don't have that, just put the blocks down like that. And we're going to come into downward facing dog. So walk your knees back a little bit behind the hips. Spread your fingers on the blocks. Press the inner hands, press the elbows forward, and so notice how my elbows are coming forward, arms are strong and straight, and shoulders are going away from the ears. I'm going to tuck my toes and come up. Look at your feet as you come up. You can bend the knees if the hamstrings are very tight, so the chest can go back towards the legs, and lift those hips up and back. And see what happens when you straighten the legs. Look at your heels. Turn the heels out of your eyesight. Roll the inner legs back. Draw up through the legs. And exhale. Come down. And let's do this without the blocks. So come to the wall. Now for this version, this is a good version for tight shoulders. So for this version, we're going to turn the palms out like this. So you have the thumb and the index finger against the wall. This will also roll those inner arms a little more forward. Take your hands a little wider than your shoulders. So I'm past the end of my mat here. Or past the side of my mat. And then tuck your toes and lift up. Press your hands into the wall and the floor. Move the hips up and back. Take the chest towards the thighs. Lift the heels out. Lift up through the backs of the legs to the sitting bones. Let the head go. And now start to lift your toes. Start to move your heels back, down towards the floor. Really press your hands in to the floor and extend up through those hips. Move the heels down towards the floor. It should be very hard to get those heels down. If it's easy, the feet are probably too close to the hands. And exhale, come down. Take your feet together, toes together. Bring your hands pointing forward, fingers pointing forward. Press into the mat, sit your hips down on the heels, and bring your hands, head all the way down on the floor. Lift the elbows up. And then take your arms behind you. Rest them on the floor. Interlace the hands. Put them on the sacrum. Interlace the fingers. Roll your shoulder. Lift the shoulders up. Roll them back and straighten your arms. And now my right shoulder is a little tight today, so I'm not going to lift my arms very far. So I'm just lifting a little bit here. If you can lift more, lift your arms more. But I'm rolling my shoulders back, away from the ears. And then bring your hands down and come all the way up. The next pose is Warrior I. So we're going to do this twice. First time will be with the hands on the wall. So have your foot about a foot distance from the wall. Step your other foot back quite a bit, right? And turn that foot in quite a bit. So, and then hold the wall. Keep your front leg bend it so the knee comes over the heel. And go ahead, lift the back heel. Lift the back heel. This will allow you to roll that inner leg to the ceiling. Inner knee, inner groin. And then stretch your arms up. Stretch your arms up. Now the bent leg, draw from the outer knee, draw that hip back. And feel that long line from the back foot, tailbone going down to that back heel, all the way to your fingertips. And then come up, turn your toes, join the feet, and then step your left foot about a foot distance from the wall. Step your other foot quite a bit back, turn those toes in. Now, look to the wall, look over your front foot, bend that leg, bend the leg. Now lift the back heel up, lift the back heel up so that inner leg can roll to the ceiling. Tailbone down, and then stretch up the wall. Stretch up the wall. The bent front leg is drawing from the knee to the hip, drawing that hip, left hip back. Reach up the wall and come up. Turn. Okay, let's do this one more time, but just slightly different. And we'll involve the arms here. So you're going to take a block. You're going to put a block. Now a light block is best, so you don't use a wooden block and it falls onto your foot. So use a light block. And I'm just putting that on my shin. I'm pressing my shin into that block so it stays in place. Hold the wall. Step your left foot back. Now this time I want to place my outer foot. Press that outer heel. And roll that inner leg back. So it's not going to roll back as much as before. But I'm doing my best to move this outer hip forward, these outer ribs forward, and looking directly at the wall. That's it. Now the tailbone is moving down. I'm lifting my pubic bone and navel up. And then I'm going to stretch my arms out into Vimanasana, windmill pose. Draw the shoulder blades down, turn the palms up, and then stretch your arms up, like when we had the belt there. Lift up through the little fingers. Lift your trunk, lift from the pubic bone, lift the chest. If you have the balance, look up towards your hands, bring more weight into the back heel. Exhale, and bring your hands on the wall. Take your block and step in. And then let's do the other leg. So put the block on the shin. Face the wall. Step back, wide leg, wide stance. Keep the heel down. Do your best to move that back leg, outer thigh, the right side, forward. And from the bent leg, draw that outer knee to the hip. Now the tailbone is important here. Move it down and forward. Down and forward. Lift the pubic bone up. Press the hands into the wall. Lift the abdomen. Lift the chest. Take your arms out. Turn the palms up. Roll those shoulder blades or draw them down, downwards and forward into the back ribs. Lift the arms up. Now lift the whole front body. Reach up through the little finger side and the thumb side. Look up. Lift more through the little finger side. Lift the front body. Get more weight into the back foot. And exhale. Calm down. And step in. Now for the next pose, take your 2 blocks. Have 2 blocks in front, keep 1 foot at the wall and step your legs wide apart. Wide-legged forward bend. Press your outer heels, press the big toe mounts, and again, find that tailbone. Move it down and forward, lifting the front body up, rolling the shoulders back, and come forward, just hinging forward from the hip crease. Start, if your hamstrings are tight, start with your hands, fingertips even on those blocks. Move the chest forward. Take the shoulders back. Find that dorsal spine. Bring it forward to the chest. Now lower the blocks. Look forward. Find that extension in the front body again. It's a little more difficult bending forward. Now lower the blocks. Can you still look forward with the chest? Can you still bring those shoulder blades into the back? And then bring your hands down on the floor. Now if this isn't possible, keep your hands on the blocks. Walk the blocks back. Walk the blocks back in between the feet. Put your hands on the block. Fingers pointing forward. And then come forward, bend forward. And bring more weight towards the toes, the ball mounts. And watch my shoulders. I'm not pushing them down towards the ears. I'm going to lift them up away from the neck and the ears so my neck is free. And I'm letting the head go down. Lifting those shoulders up. Elbows are in line with the shoulders here. So it's also making my shoulders strong, ready for poses like headstand. Firm the legs, lift the thighs, lift the kneecaps. Let the trunk descend. Now this is a hard pose, so don't hold it for too long. If this was too long, just come out, look forward, concave back. Join the feet. Bring the hands to the hips and come all the way up. All right, and then let's join me down on the floor. Just have 1 block. Have 1 block. Go ahead, lie down. Have your block next to you. Hold the sides of your mat and turn your heels out a little bit. Be a little bit pigeon-toed. Press your inner feet. And then lift the buttocks up. My tailbone is always moving towards, away from the lower back. And then roll those shoulder blades, the shoulders under, shoulder blades into the back ribs. Press into the feet, lift the buttocks a little more. Lift, lift, lift. And come down. Take a breath, unroll those shoulders, lie on your back. And then one more time, lift up a little here. Press the inner feet, roll each shoulder under. And I'm still holding that mat, pushing it away from me and lifting the middle of the buttocks. Lifting the sacrum up. And then I can put this block under. So there's, depending on how much lift, maybe you only put the block on the medium setting here, which is fine. Keeping those shoulders rolled under and feeling a lift of your upper spine. Feeling your chest moving to the chin. So you have this lock between the chin and the chest. The chin lock, we call it, Jalandhara Bandha. The back of the neck is long. And maybe, if you are able, you could lift the block up higher. I'm supporting both sides of my sacrum. And notice how the block is on the sacrum, not the lower back. Not the lower back. You can let the arms roll up to the ceiling. Now here, soften your throat. Soften the eyes. Let the eyes draw back, roll back to the back of your head. Let your abdomen completely relax. Press the inner feet. See that the knees don't go apart. Resist a little bit so there's a stretch from the outer hips to the outer knees. And slowly lift the buttock up, lower that block, take it all the way out, and move your tailbone towards the feet when you come down. Place your foot down, or place your pelvis down. Just bring one knee into the chest, stretch the other leg out, and change. Stretch the other leg out, stretch through the heel. And bend the legs, roll to the side. And then join me for Virabhadrasana, twist, seated on either a bolster or on a couple of blankets or 3. Okay, so have a bolster or have 2 or 3 blankets and fold them and place them on top of each other so you have a height that's probably about like this bolster. And then I'm going to show this from my backside so you can see my feet better. You're going to move the bolster to the back end of your mat there so your knees can be on the mat. So you're going to sit with the buttock that's closest to the wall. Have that buttock on the bolster. And then take that leg closest to the wall. Fold that leg like this so the knee is down on the floor in the front and the toes turn out to the side. And then bend the other leg and put the ankle right on top. And then notice this hip comes down. Move this thigh and hip towards the heel. Bring your hand to that outer foot. Press down, sit tall, lift your chest. All those things we've been doing. Roll those shoulder blades back and down. shoulder blades into the back ribs. Now stretch your arms up, turn to the wall, and hold the wall. Fingertips in line with the shoulders, press the back hand into the wall, take your front hand on that outer knee, and turn. And turn. Roll that back hand shoulder blade into the back ribs. Turn the chest. Breathe. And come to the front. And then go ahead, come off the bolster. Bring it to the other side. Now, if you have any knee problems, sometimes my right leg is giving me a little trouble with the knees. So if that's the case, there's always the chair. Another option, if this leg doesn't want to bend, you can bend this leg. Now, if this leg doesn't want to bend, if the knees don't like this pose, there's a similar pose using a chair that I will show some other day. So you're going to sit, if you can, repeat it this way. Bring the knee down, point the toes out, and bring the other foot on top. And then sit this buttock down towards the heel and sit tall. Lift your chest. Bring those shoulder blades into the back. Stretch your arms up. Turn towards the wall. Use your back hand to push into the wall. Roll that shoulder blade into the back ribs. Turn your chest. Take your front hand on that inner knee and turn. And turn. Sitting tall. Inhaling, exhaling, turning. And come to the front. Now it's a good idea to repeat this pose twice. So go ahead, if you have your time for that, repeat it one more time. Now we're going to finish today in a very nice pose. So go ahead, get a blanket and have your bolster, or if you have a couple more blankets, if you don't have the bolster, get 3 blankets. Okay, we're going to do legs up the wall with the pelvis resting on the bolster. Be pretty karate. So if you don't have a bolster, you can use 3 folded blankets like this. So you just go ahead and you have 3 folded blankets on top of each other, a little bit staggered, like a staircase. Now, if you have the bolster, then use the bolster. Have this blanket unfolded, have your bolster a little bit like a narrow blocks distance from the wall. Come to the front of that bolster. Now the key here to not fall off the bolster is to hold the hand here in the front, move this outer thigh in, thread it in between the wall and the bolster, come down. So I'm lying on the bolster here with my waist. And then roll up, and bend your legs and hold the bolster and lift the buttocks, pull the bolster towards your chest so your tailbone can now go down behind the bolster. And then stretch the legs up. And you want to feel like your abdomen gets this nice concave space, like it feels spacious in the abdominal area. And then completely relax here. Let the tops of the shoulders release. Relax your arms completely, your fingers, your hands. You have a nice opening of your chest here. The shoulders are coiling under, so the chest opens broadly. Let the legs descend down into the hip sockets. Let your eyes be gently closed and feel as if the eyeballs are just releasing backwards away from the eyelids towards the back of the skull. And slowly bend your legs. Push yourselves backwards all the way till your sacrum, the pelvis, comes down on the floor. Now go ahead, cross the legs on the bolster. Relax your arms. And go ahead, cross the legs the other way. And then slowly bring your knees into the chest, roll to your side, and slowly come up to sitting. Join your palms. Namaste. Thank you for joining me today. See you soon.